Bonjour la classe, comment ça va? This video is the first video on chapter 2. I will be covering the section Communication en direct from chapter 2. And in this chapter, there are two themes that I want you to keep in mind. Description and possession. And to describe, we use in English, in Spanish, in French, we use the verb to be. I am tall, I am American. In French, you also use the verb to be, which you learned in chapter 1, être. To communicate possession, we use the verb to have. I have 2 dogs. I have 1 car, right? So we use the verb to have. In French, that's the verb avoir, which you will learn this week. Not this week, but for this chapter. So you can scroll down below on the page on the front page, and you will see my resources. You will see this video. Okay? So I will start with communication en direct. There are 3 questions. Okay? To ask someone's age, you say, "You have how many age?" Kind of saying, how many years do you have under your belt, right? How many years do you have as experience, right? So there's an informal version and a formal version. Tu as quel âge? Say it after me. Tu as quel âge? Tu as quel âge? Et la version formelle. Quel âge avez-vous? Here we're not using the verb to be like in English. In English we say, how old are you? You are, right? In French, in Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, we use the verb to have. I have these many years. So you say, tu as quel âge? Quel âge avez-vous? The answer is, I have 19 ans. S will never be pronounced. 19 ans. J'ai 55 ans. 55 ans. Tu as quel âge? J'ai 19 ans. Quel âge avez-vous? J'ai 55 ans. So the professor, how old is he? You can ask me with the formal version, right? Professeur, quel âge avez-vous? And my answer will be, j'ai 40 ans. J'ai 40 ans. 40 ans. What about you? Tu as quel âge? Tu as quel âge? Your answer would be, j'ai a number and an at the end. J'ai 19 ans. J'ai 20 ans. D'accord? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is to ask where someone is from. You are from where? And here you are using the verb to be. You are from where? Or the formal version, from where are you? You see we're using the preposition from, de. Right? That means that your answer will also need the preposition from. Where are you from? I am from Mexico, right? The answer also uses that preposition. So make sure that you are including the preposition de in your answer. Right? So say the question after me, the informal one. Tu es d'où? Tu es d'où? Tu es d'où? La version formelle. D'où êtes-vous? D'où êtes-vous? Right. And you see, these are 3 different ways for you to answer that question. You can say, je suis de Montréal. I am from Montreal. Je suis de Montréal. Or, je viens de France. I come from France. Or, je suis né à Paris, mais maintenant j'habite à Marseille. You see how possibilité numéro 1 et possibilité numéro 2 utilisent la préposition de? Oui. Je suis de Montréal. Je viens de France. And you can use either 3, either one of these to to answer this question. Tu es d'où? The simpler one is number one, right? Tu es d'où? Je suis de Dallas. Je suis de Texas. Je suis de Japon. D'accord? And question number three is to ask someone's nationality. Informal version. Quelle est ta nationalité, Marc? Formal version. Quelle est votre nationalité, madame? The question, the answer is different if whoever is speaking is a man or a woman, because a nationality is an adjective, and adjectives can be feminine or masculine. So if we're referring to Mark and Mark is answering the question, Mark, if he identifies as male, then he will say Je suis français. Je suis français. Okay. Quelle est votre nationalité, madame? Right? So if it is a woman speaking, then you say Je suis française. She would say Je suis française. The E is not pronounced, but the last consonant will be. You see, for Mark, he doesn't say the S, but madame will have to pronounce the Z sound at the end. Mark, je suis français. Madame, je suis française. D'accord? So, nationalities, you have masculine versions and feminine versions. So, Mary est allemande, de allemande. Right? Mark est allemand, allemand. You need to use the masculine, right? Depending on who's speaking, or the feminine. So, je suis allemand. Je suis allemande. You see how you don't pronounce the E, but the last consonant you have to pronounce in the feminine version. In the masculine version, you don't. There are many different situations here that are a little bit different, but that's the main rule. Okay? So say them after me. Allemand, allemande. Anglais, anglaise. Belge, belge. If the nationality, if it ends in an E in the masculine form, then there's no change in the feminine form. So you use both for the same. You use the same one for both. Brésilien, brésilienne. Here, you don't only add the E, but you double the N when you have a nationality that ends in an N. Same for Canadian. Canadien, canadienne. Brésilien, brésilienne. Chinois, chinoise. All you do is add an E and the last consonant you pronounce. Coréen, coréenne. Double N, E. Espagnol, espagnol. No change in pronunciation, but you add an E on spelling. Américain, américaine. Français, française. Indien, indienne. Irlandais, irlandaise. Italien, italienne. Japonais, japonaise. Mexicain, mexicaine. Russe, russe. Tunisien, tunisienne. You see how Mexicain, Américain, the N is not doubled, right? So that happens for Américain and Mexicain. D'accord? So those are the nationalities, right? Depending on who's speaking, then you need to either use the masculine or the feminine. These are the countries to the left. A country in French is pronounced pays, pays. Say it after me, pays. Okay, so repeat the countries after me. L'Allemagne, l'Angleterre, la Belgique, le Brésil, le Canada, la Chine, la Corée, l'Espagne, les États-Unis, les États-Unis, la France, l'Inde, l'Irlande, l'Italie, le Japon, le Mexique, la Russie, la Tunisie. So to the left you have the country, in the middle you have the nationality, both masculine and feminine version, and to the right you have the languages. Most of them are, well, all of them are masculine. There's no language that is feminine that ends in an E, right? So usually it is the masculine nationality that stands for the language, but not for all of them, right? For example, for Belgium, right? They speak French and Flamand, Flemish. They don't speak Belge, right? So some of them, as you can see, the same for Brazil, right? They speak Portuguese. They don't speak Brazilian, right? The same for Mexico. They don't speak Mexican. They speak Spanish. So for a few exceptions, you will see that most nationalities, masculine nationalities, are also the languages of the country. Just use your common sense on this, right? Your own knowledge. So when you say you speak a language, in French you say je parle, like parliament. The word parliament comes from this word to speak. That's where a lot of politicians go and speak, right? Je parle. Je parle espagnol, masculine version. Je parle chinois, masculine version. Je parle français, masculine version. Okay? Répétez s'il vous plaît. L'allemand, that's the language, German. L'anglais, repeat after me. Le français, le flamand, le portugais, le français, l'anglais, le chinois, le coréen, l'espagnol, l'anglais, le français, le hindi, l'anglais, l'italien, le japonais, l'espagnol, le russe, l'arabe, le français. Okay, that's it for video number 1. I will create a second video to talk about the vocabulary for this chapter. You can find it by scrolling down below. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.